let's go to a video from Pierre Poilievre, who wisely continues to go around the mainstream media. He sat down with Dr. Jordan Peterson, I think the preeminent thinker in the Anglosphere, for a long form interview. And I think there are a lot of incredible clips there, but Poilievre really articulated why he wants to be the prime minister, what he plans to fix. And he talks about the promise of Canada and how the promise of Canada has been broken under the Trudeau Liberals. And he talked about Trudeau's mass immigration policy. So let's show that clip, please.
Immigration, porous border. I think our per capita immigration rate exceeds that of the U.S., even given the U.S. open southern border.
Oh, by far. We had a population growth of 1.2 million in 2023. That's on a base of 40 million people. So it's an astonishing number of people to bring in 1 year. Everyone now admits that this was a calamity for housing, the job market, and our healthcare
Well,
system.
Trudeau himself walked it back recently.
He walked it back.
With what was the approximation of a public apology.
Yes.
I mean,
this is after he called everyone who questioned his immigration policy a racist.
Right.
And then he adopted the policies that he was calling racist only a year and a half earlier.
You know, Trudeau reminds me, Sheila, and that's a great example. You were a racist until now, in which case you're not a racist. But there's this great Dennis Rodman story when he was married to Carmen Electra. And Carmen Electra came home early from a trip. And she goes up to the master bedroom, and there is Dennis Rodman, her husband, in bed with another woman. And Carmen Electra says, "Dennis, who's that woman?" And he says, "What woman?" And Carmen Electra says, "The naked woman lying right next to you." And Rodman goes, "Oh, her? She fell out of the ceiling." And that to me is like Justin Trudeau. A minute ago, you were a racist for questioning the amount of immigration into the country. And suddenly, when I say, in the words of Jordan Peterson, what approximates a public apology, sorry for bringing in too many people in too short a time with too few skills, suddenly you're not a racist. It's unbelievable, Sheila.
Yeah. I mean, if you question the amount of temporary foreign workers in the country causing the youth unemployment rate in this country to skyrocket, a year ago, you were a racist. And now Mark Miller's like, we got to do something about these temporary foreign workers. They're hurting the job market for the young people, and they're driving down the wages. And we're like, yeah, we know. We know. We've been saying that. And you called us fringe radicals because of it. It's just, and they think they're so clever that Canadians don't see what they're doing. We're not hard of remembering at all, you liberal idiots. Now, Danielle Smith has something very similar to say. She the Alberta government has these sort of sit-down interviews with politicians, but Danielle Smith, she has like this, it's almost like a little talk show that they do. And it's on the Your Alberta YouTube channel. And she talks about how Justin Trudeau's immigration surge caught everyone by surprise. And in Alberta, we're not against immigration. We'll take all the Ontarians we can handle who are fleeing Ontario. We're happy to provide jobs for our fellow Canadians who are struggling in other jurisdictions. But we can't do that if Justin Trudeau keeps dumping immigrants into Alberta. So let's listen to that.
The government was building about 19 schools a year. And that was fine when we had sort of a predictable, regular enrollment growth. The surge that we've seen in the last 3 years, I think, caught everyone by surprise. It's part of the reason why you're now having a backlash that is happening, quite frankly, in every province in the country, and why everyone had to put pressure on the federal government to take a more realistic approach to how many newcomers we can actually absorb in our economy. That being said, we now know that we have a huge number of families who've come here, and so a large number of kids who are going to need that care. And our job is to build the schools. So we've increased the amount of schools that we're going to build to 30 per year. We think we need 200,000 new school spaces by 2030. And the model that we're going to use is that we're going to build and own the facilities so that we can make sure that we're managing them over a longer period of time and paying for them over a longer period of time. And it's allowed us to really accelerate that growth. We want to make sure that we're not building too much too fast, because the private sector is also booming. They've got a lot of homes to build.
That's right.
And if you try to pile too much construction in all at once, it can just cause inflation as well. So we do believe that we've got the right balance. We're going to have to keep on monitoring and recalibrating that. But it is we want to be very welcoming to those who are coming here to help build our economy and looking for good jobs. And that means that we've got to keep up with growth.
Wow, Sheila, given that you're an Albertan, it must be so great to have, an adult in the room when it comes to the Premier's chair after what you went through with the NDP for those years.
Yes, and the bait and switch we got with Jason Kenney. It's nice to have an actual Conservative who governs as a Conservative instead of just a Conservative in name only, as what we got with Jason Kenney. He talked a good Conservative game, but when the rubber met the road, he was not a Conservative at all. So it's refreshing, and she continues to stand up for Alberta's interests, and Alberta's interests continue to be in the best interest of the country. So I couldn't be happier about that.
Oh, hi, it's Ezra Levant here in Toronto with an important message because we need your help. Independent journalism in Canada is under attack. Government censors, big tech deplatformers, and the dying legacy media are all working together to maintain exclusive control on the information you receive. They don't want you to hear other voices like ours, and they really don't want you to be informed and to think for yourself. That's why the work we do here at Rebel News is so important. Our on-the-ground reporting, independent news shows, and special content you won't find anywhere else. It's all designed to give you trustworthy information and alternative viewpoints so you can decide for yourself. We don't get government money, and we are not owned by some big global conglomerate. We're funded by people just like you, so please support independent journalism and help us continue our work by subscribing and becoming a Rebel News Plus member today, right here on the page. Go to rebelnewsplus.com. Members get instant access to all of our shows, invitations to exclusive events, and access to our premium content like live event footage and documentaries you won't see anywhere else. Only Rebel News Plus members can join the conversation by participating in the comments section of our new website. That way you can have your say too. More than anything, though, you'll be able to take pride in supporting real, honest journalism, and you'll help our talented team continue to do the work to push back on the establishment. We really can use your help. We need it, in fact. So thank you, and enjoy Rebel News Plus.